All right, hi, my Faith Formation families. This is your first newsletter of the year. And from this point forward, you will always have this newsletter available on Friday mornings at 9. If you did not receive this email through the flock notes, meaning that you've got the email from me on your regular email from my work email, dor.org, and not through the Growing in the Spirit newsletter, then I need you to let me know that you're not on my list or that it's not getting through to you. Okay, I did try to double check all my addresses to make sure that everybody that I have that was registered last year or this year already is on that list. If you weren't registered last year, are not currently registered, then chances are you aren't on this video right now. So I came at you with two different ways for you to find this. So if at any point during the school year you don't get a newsletter that comes to your inbox, what you need to do is go to www.olqpstm.com. I have it here below. Go to that web page and click on Faith Formation, and then you will see, depending on your device, but you will see a column for newsletter. If you click newsletter, the most current newsletter is always at the top. So click the top one and you'll always know what the plan for the week for your child is, okay? Now I'm getting this message out to you early because there's some important information that needs to come out to all of you before we begin classes at the end of the month. And the most important message is that we are not going to be having in-person parent meetings, okay? So all in-person meetings that we had scheduled are going to be a video for families to watch. But here's why. Unexpectedly, I've had some problems with my gallbladder throughout the summer, and I've been trying to get it to heal on its own. We've tried a couple different things. But now it's really acting up, and the doctors have decided that it has to come out. So that unfortunately means that on September 15th, I'm going to be having my gallbladder out, which means I won't be able to physically be present for the parent meetings. So here's what I've done. I have pre-recorded all of the parent meetings. They will be coming out in next week's newsletter, okay? So that gives us a week for people to figure out if they got this message and if they didn't, where to find it and all of that good stuff. But next week, the newsletter that comes to you, I have it generated. It'll happen automatically even while I'm in the hospital, okay? It'll automatically send it out to you, and you will get the videos. Just find what grades your child has been signed up for and what nights they're signed up, and click that video to get the whole rundown of what what you need to know for Faith Formation for that night, okay? Then my plan, if I am upright and functioning enough just to be present at the first night of class, I will be available for questions, okay? So it's not an official parent meeting that night. You'll have the video, but if you have questions from the video, you can come that night when you drop your child off for their first class and just touch base with me and see, if I can answer your questions that way. All right. So I realize this is the absolute worst time possible. Well, actually, no. At least this didn't happen right in the middle of the startup, right? Because if we don't catch this now, it will be an emergency situation that we don't want to have to do in the middle of the school year. So getting it out now is better than having it disrupt everything later. So I realize the timing is less than ideal, and I am still scurrying for helpers and trying to get everything up and running. So just so you know, it'll be fine. It'll be a little rocky when we get started, but we'll be okay. It is always going to be okay. If there's one thing I know about the Spirit of God, it's that, you just put your best effort forward and it just somehow works out. God always makes a way. So we're going to do just that, okay? If you have not registered already, and this is your prompting to do so, or if you were planning to register the night of the parent meeting, then you really need to know this information, okay? So hopefully by catching those of you that were registered last year, if you were planning to do that for this year. Hopefully this video will stop you from that plan unless you come to a building that I'm not going to be present at. So I really don't want to waste your time either. So I'm trying to get the word out as quickly as possible to make sure nobody shows up the night of the parent meeting and finds that we're not there. Okay. If you have not yet registered, I've included the registration and the brochure also in this email. So if you click on those tabs below in this newsletter, you will see that everything will pop up for you. It should be a fill-in PDF that you can fill in. Not everybody has the capability to do that. So if it's easier for you to print it and fill it out, that's fine. There are paper ones in the narthex of all the churches, all 4 parishes, so feel free to stop in and grab those and fill one out. Okay. You can pay online, and there's information in the brochure for that. And just make sure that on the registration form or with the email, if you're sending it by email, just let us know if your child is in a K-5 class and you're picking Monday night or Tuesday night. Now remember, all classes are Our Lady Queen of Peace, but we have 2 separate nights to space out the numbers because K-5 has a lot of high numbers. So we're trying to space everyone out and keep socially distant and safe. So you can choose between coming Monday night or coming Tuesday night. You pick whatever night works best for your family. There are some grades that are getting full. So you may get a phone call from either Marianne Obark or myself that asks you if you really have to have it on that night or if you'd be willing to move over to Monday night. I will say Monday night is our lighter night. For those of you that maybe haven't yet registered and Monday nights would work best for you, we have much lower numbers on Monday night. Tuesday's starting to get pretty full. So I just want to put that out there. It's not totally full, so it's not impossible. But if you're a parent that just would like it to be a lighter number, you know, don't want to have to worry about that, then Monday night would be the way to go, okay, for signing up for right now. I will be checking emails even while I'm in recovery. I typically would not do that, but because of the important timing of all of this, I'm going to do my best to be able to guide you even if it's from my bed, because I just don't want to leave everybody hanging. I've been trying to communicate all summer, but I think, you know, people have been away, and, you know, if you're not watching the bulletins or the websites or even the social media, the YouTube channels and things like that. So if you've been away and you're just kind of coming back to it, just reach out, let us know. We'll guide you through it. We'll talk you through what we're doing. You also have the option for remote learning, and how remote learning is going to work. K-5 remote learning will all happen on Tuesday night, and it's going to be a Zoom class from the live classroom that's happening for in-person. Okay, so your catechist, because I don't have enough catechists to separate everything, so we're just kind of doing the best we can. So we have the technology that your child will be on Zoom, but the Zoom picture is enlarged on a smart TV so that the catechist can see your child's face, and then the camera will be such so that your child can see your teacher and all the other kids in the classroom that are doing in-person learning, okay? Or just, you know, not like you're looking right at them, but like you'll be in the same classroom as all of them, okay? So just be aware that that's how remote learning for K-5 is going to work. 6 and 7, grade 8 and 9, those are the Sunday night alternating classes. If you need Zoom for those classes, if you need to do it remotely, just let me know when you register. I think currently I only have 1 or 2 that need to Zoom, which is fine. We can move and it's the same thing. You'll be Zooming into the live classroom, the in-person classroom. I should probably quit saying live, but as it's actually happening, okay? So you will be Zooming into the actual class that's taking place on the night that you would be normally taking place. So the next question naturally for people is, well, where am I going to get all this information? That's going to be the newsletter. So the newsletter is going to say, if you're coming in person, this is what we're going to be working on. If you're dialing in remotely through Zoom, here's the credentials and what time and when to do it. If you are a home study parent, okay, and this is very important, if you're doing home study means you get to cover the topics in your, whatever night works for you with your family. Let's say you've got things going and you can't even do the remote one because you've got something going on. And maybe for your family, you like to do faith formation on Saturday morning, right? That's fine. Just know that if you're home study, you do have to turn in the assignments that are asked on the newsletter. That is our way of keeping track of your attendance for home study. So yes, you're doing it from home, but you're following our curriculum, and that makes sure that you're following what the diocese and what the church says that your child needs to know for whatever their next sacrament of preparation is. Okay? So yes, it's home study, but you do need to follow what we're asking you to follow, and you need to turn those assignments in. And that information will also be on the weekly newsletter. So as you scroll down, we have a lot of scrolling. So pay attention to two things. If you're in K through 5, make sure you're paying attention to whether it's Monday night or Tuesday night. Now, eventually you'll get to know your teacher's face, and your teacher's face will be on the newsletter so that you know where you're going, okay? But maybe in the first couple of weeks, you might not know that or don't have it memorized. So just be sure to watch if it's Monday night kindergarten or Tuesday night kindergarten, or, first or second, because the teachers may not be, the teachers for both of those nights might not be on the same chapter. So it's not going to be the same assignment. Sometimes it might be, but other times it's not. So really pay attention to what your child's teacher wants them to do. Okay, if you're in person, you just have to show up. They're going to talk you through what needs to happen. But if you're a remote learner, make sure you're zooming into the right classroom, okay, or to the right Zoom. What I intend to do, if we get more students that do Zoom, right now we don't have a large amount of you doing remote. I believe that will probably change depending on how things go with the schools. We're ready for it, whatever happens. But we may do like we did before for last year. Everybody Zoom to the one Zoom address, and then I'll break you off into breakout rooms. Right now, I'm not sure that we need to do that, so we're just kind of playing it by ear. But I have a plan for whatever we need to do. So the night of the first class, the credentials for that will be there for you to be able to log in if you're doing remote learning. And the same for the other grades. Your credentials will be right there in the newsletter. Okay, but you do have to pay attention to the newsletter, because there are times we've had to change the credentials, right? Sometimes people say, oh no, it's the same one as last week. It's not always. So it's really good to make sure you double check all the time that Friday newsletter. Make sure you've got all the up-to-date information, okay? I know that's the biggest snafu we had last year, was when we had to change a Zoom address for whatever reason. Sometimes it's a shared account through the whole parish, so there's times things accidentally get deleted, or whatever. So just if that ever happens and we have to renew a Zoom account, just be ready for that, okay? If you have questions about that, feel free to email me questions. I may not answer you as quickly as I'd like, but I will try to get an answer to you. And if I can't answer you, I will forward it to someone that can find an answer and connect with you. Like I said, I really don't intend, ideally I'm supposed to be out for 2 weeks. It is not going to be a full 2 weeks before classes start. I have consulted with my doctor that if I can just sit in a chair and be ready to answer questions, that should be fine. So that will be but I have other people that will be my arms and legs and moving around that night to help us, guide us through the first night, just to get through the first week, okay? But I am available for you by email as much as I can be, okay? If you have questions or concerns, let me know. Like I said, next Friday, the newsletter will come out. It'll have all the parent meetings. Watch them at your leisure. Watch them whenever it's convenient for you, so that you'll know when and what to do when you start, okay? So you don't necessarily have to watch them on the night that you were scheduled for the parent meeting, obviously. And this is kind of more convenient in that sense too. It's one less time you've got to go out this month. And also, it's nice to have for later. If you have questions and forget what I said, you can always go back to the video and refer to that. So in some ways, that's going to be really helpful. All right, my friends, I won't hold you up anymore. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. And I apologize for coming at you in multiple directions, trying to reach everyone. If you know somebody that has not registered, that may not be on my list, please spread the word to them as well, that we have to make this change for this week, okay? Say a little prayer for me. Hopefully next time you see me, I will be without my gallbladder and then on to healthier and better days. But take care, everyone. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.